Hello, everybody, and welcome to the January 31st edition of Friday Night SmackDown here on the channel. This is the Go Home episode before the Royal Rumble. And usually before PLE, I would just announce the card of the show. I'd tell everybody what the matches are going to be, but we're going to have some matches announced on the show. So I don't really want to spoil it quite yet. I will go over the card at the beginning of the PLE show. I'm not sure if we have NXT Vengeance Day or the Royal Rumble first. I forget which one's Saturday and which one's Sunday, but either way, one of the next two episodes, you'll know the card. We got a great next two episodes. PLE's coming up. I'm really excited to book those. But we got a good show here tonight, some good matches, hopefully. And yeah, so we start off with Cody Rhodes opening the show, and he's furious about Kevin Owens' cheap shot last week. You know, he wrestled a match last week because Kevin promised to not cause any trouble. You know, but he cheap shotted him after the match. So is that causing trouble? I mean, he says, "You want to play around and pretend to be a champion, Kevin Owens? Well, come out and look a real champion in the eyes." So Kevin Owens comes out. He's got the winged eagle belt over his shoulder. You know, he's still playing pretend champion. He says, I didn't start a fight. I didn't ruin a match. I didn't cause any trouble. I just reminded you what happens when you take something from me. He says that Cody's just rattled because for once the world isn't revolving around him. You know, you're not finishing your story at the Royal Rumble, Cody. You're just becoming a part of my story. Cody's, furious. He dares Kevin Owens to take another swing at him, but KO responds, I promised. I told Titus. No trouble this week, too. And unlike you, Cody, I actually keep my word. And he gives Cody the winged eagle belt and says, "Here, you can pretend to be champion for a bit, because I'm not losing at the Royal Rumble." Obviously, KO, still delusional, thinks he's the real champion and Cody is the fake champion. KO walks out of the ring and up the ramp as Cody holds on to the winged eagle belt to end that segment. And that gets an 82. I wonder what the penalties are. Commentary, low heat. Huh. Obviously, like part 1 got 93, part 2 part 90, but I guess just the low heat, 82. Interesting. Oh well. 82 is still a good start. And yeah, we go backstage to Santos Escobar, who is in Titus O'Neil's office, and Santos says that his boys need a match tonight. Titus tells Santos that, BFAB was just in here saying the same thing. So that match will be next. And yeah, we're getting the Street Profits versus Los Garza. This gets a 47. Crowd's hot. And yeah, Street Profits defeat Los Garza in 11.5 minutes when Montez Ford pins Angel with a frog splash. And a 39 for Berto, 42 for Angel, 58 for Dawkins, 56 for Montez Ford. That match gets a 57. I'm fairly happy with that. 57. They were penalized for trying to go all out, which is interesting. Also, this is in the Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, as the Royal Rumble is in Indianapolis. So we're still in Indianapolis for this show. We're not in Canada like we were with ECW. But yeah, 57 for that. A nice victory for the Street Profits. And yeah, Tiffany Stratton comes out to the ring next. She says that she didn't want to cash in on Nia, but after Nia showed her true colors and slapped her, she realized that she needed to put Nia Jax in her place. She says she's not afraid to face Nia Jax one-on-one for the title. And if that's what the people want, then that's what she'll do. Nia storms out to the ring. She's furious. Obviously, Tiffany cashed in on Nia versus Bayley and stole the title by pinning Nia. She calls Tiffy ungrateful and says that, I carried you, I protected you, and this is how I get repaid. She says that Tiffy is lucky that she caught her off guard, and that Nia will break her in half if they face off one-on-one in a title match. It looks like she's about to charge and attack Tiffy when Bayley's music hits, Role Model. Bayley comes out and reminds everyone that, she technically never lost her title shot because she was never pinned. So, Bayley feels like if anyone deserves a rematch, first, it should be her. So these three are Tiffany's like doing the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, joking around who she's going to pick. When Charlotte Flair's music hits, Charlotte says that, you know what, it doesn't matter who she picks to face, who's the champion, because after the Queen wins the Royal Rumble this weekend, she's going to be champion after WrestleMania. Whether it's Little Tiffy, Big Bad Nia, or BBO Bailey, Charlotte will defeat them at WrestleMania and be your WWE Women's Champion. Titus O'Neil comes out and says that clearly everyone feels like they want to prove themselves, So why don't we have a fun tag match tonight with Nia and Charlotte teaming up to face Bailey and Tiffany Stratton. So yeah, that match will be later. This gets a 74. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Bailey doesn't do well off script. The crowd's white hot. And yeah, so next we go to a match between Kit Wilson and Patrick Scott, where Kit Wilson told Titus O'Neil earlier tonight that he wanted to show off a new move in the ring. So Elton Prince pulls out a pocket mirror at ringside and gives it to Kit Wilson, he's looking in it. He's fixing his hair. He hits a big move on Patrick Scott, and he fixes his hair in the little mirror. Patrick Scott stumbles up behind him, and then Kit turns around and yells at him, don't you ever sneak up on a masterpiece. Kit hits his finisher and goes for the pin. He's posing mid-pin like he's in a magazine shoot. And then he wins that match in 7 minutes by pinfall. I basically did this match as Kit Wilson had a creative finish that was supposed to be likely, and it did not work, obviously. The match only gets a 40. Oh well. Patrick Scott, obviously, he still needs to build his pop a little bit. Kit Wilson is recognizable, but not the most recognizable. Oh well, I thought this creative finish would do better. Oh well. But yeah, after the match, Kit Wilson, he puts the mirror next to Patrick Scott, who's still laying on the mat after the pin. And, Kit tells him, take a good look at second place. So yeah, this match was just to get this creative finish used, as it expired basically during the Royal Rumble, and I didn't want to put this on the Royal Rumble. I'm not going to have Kit Wilson winning the Royal Rumble. Sorry, spoiler alert. But yeah, and clearly that would have been a bad idea, as the creative finish didn't even work. But yeah. Roman Reigns comes out to the ring with only Paul Heyman at his side. He's got the Ulafala, but, at what cost? He starts by saying, I beat the pretender, the fake tribal chief. I stand at the head of the table, but I look around, and no one is here. No Jimmy, no Jay, no family, no bloodline. He says that Solo's betrayal wasn't just a power grab, it was personal. Jimmy's in the hospital. Jay's on Raw. Sammy's also on Raw, and he got himself barred from my family's business. My wise man, Paul Heyman, is here. And I'm still the tribal chief, but right now, this tribal chief has no tribe. So, yeah. I'm wondering if it was all worth it, Roman Reigns. That segment gets an 83. I'm wondering why we're getting 90s here, and it's not getting 90 segments, which is interesting. Maybe it's a max because we did drop to medium, so maybe that's why. I'm not sure. But the crowd is white hot. As we go out to the ring, Baron Corbin also gets a match tonight. Obviously, he faced Cody Rhodes last week. And he's frustrated about that loss. He's talking to Titus. He asks Titus if he can, can I just say a name for any name for a match tonight? Titus says, just say his name and he'll appear in the ring tonight. So Baron Corbin goes out to the ring to face Joe Hendry. And near the end of the match, we see Joe Hendry, he's selling that he's tweaking his leg. The ref's checking on him. Baron Corbin goes out to the ringside. He sees a fan with the, we believe in Joe Hendry sign. He takes it, he rips it in half. Joe Hendry sees this and he yells at Baron Corbin to respect the fans. And Baron gets back in. The ref goes to check on the fan, make sure they're all right. Baron sneaks a chair into the ring and hits Joe Hendry in the back with it. He quickly throws it out of the ring before the ref turns around. He gets back in. Baron Corbin gets a handful of tights, I guess, for the pin. And he wins 61 for that match. Actually, a lot better than I thought it would be. Very happy. Joe Hendry. Baron Corbin cheats to beat Joe Hendry. And yeah, we're starting a feud between these two. I think this will be interesting. I needed something for both of them to do. And yeah, we go backstage to Nick Aldis talking to A-Town Down Under. And Aldis says, I'm done with the general manager job. I'm not the GM of SmackDown anymore. I'm moving on. You guys can be upset. I already beat you Theory by DQ. Waller, you cheated. I'm sick of all the games. They're done. So next week, let's have a tag match and finish this nonsense. And Austin and Grayson accept. So next week, A-Town Down Under versus Nick Aldis and Patrick Scott, ending the feud. That segment gets a 60. I'm happy enough with that. Gains heat. And yeah, we go to a vignette of Solo's bloodline. They're in a dark room. He's with Jacob and the Tongans. Obviously, Solo lost his Ula Fala at Saturday night's main event. And yeah, Solo tells Jacob and the Tongans that this is just a small step backwards in their overall plan. Once things settle down a bit, they'll be able to strike back and get back on top. We're 57. Decent enough segments. I'm happy. And yeah, we head out to the ring for that tag match with Nia and Charlotte versus Bayley and Tiffy. Nia and Charlotte, they're not getting along. Their egos are clashing in this match. Bayley and Tiffany are working together much better because Bayley actually respects Tiffany's guts to cash in on Nia. Tiffany and Nia are in the ring, and Bayley and Charlotte are brawling out on the ringside. Bayley and Charlotte Flair take each other out with a double clothesline. And Tiffany goes for the prettiest moonsault ever in the ring, but Nia Jax gets up and catches her midair and sets up for a Samoan drop. Tiffany's able to slip out and shove Nia into the turnbuckle, leaving her dazed and, stumbling. Tiffany quickly gets under and rolls Nia up for 1, 2, 3. Tiffany Stratton gets the victory by getting a flash pinfall on Nia Jax. She rolls out of the ring pretty quick. She runs up the ramp. She's shocked at her victory. This match gets a 59. 60 for Bayley, 62 for Tiffany, 64 for Charlotte, a 45 for Nia Jax, who's in amazing form, by the way, and still gets a 45. A 59 for that match is happy enough. This was my storytelling match. And yeah, Tiffany's also in amazing form. Very happy. They did great. We go backstage to Titus O'Neil. He finds Braun Strowman and apologizes to Braun Strowman for having to deal with all of the chaos surrounding Shinsuke Nakamura and that title. Apollo interrupts the apology, and he says that Titus, a real apology would be giving Braun a title opportunity. Braun's staring at Titus, he's got a good point there. Titus says, you know what, sure, I'll make sure you get that match this weekend at the Royal Rumble. So we will have Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura at the Royal Rumble for a 59. And yeah, I think that'll be a fun match. We needed more. I realized that I hadn't really been setting up the Royal Rumble matches as well. And Braun Strowman, I don't really have him in the U.S. title plans until WrestleMania, so I figured I'll give him a match at the Royal Rumble. Should be fun. Yeah, 59 for that. And yeah, we go out to the ring for a match between LA Knight, who's finally getting back at Santos Escobar in the ring. Finally gets his match. And Santos Escobar's smooth offense allows him to get control of the match, halfway through. He's setting up for Phantom Driver. LA Knight kicks at Santos Escobar's legs and slides out and shoves him into the turnbuckle chest first. Knight bounces off the ropes. He hits a big leaping neck breaker. Santos gets up. LA Knight hits his LA Knight, yeah, taunt. And he hits a BFT right in the center of the ring for 1, 2, 3. LA Knight beats Santos Escobar in 14 and a half minutes with a gravy train, I guess. 69 for LA Knight, 67 or 67 for LA Knight, not 69. Not nice. 57 for Santos Escobar. And yeah, creative finish. I figured, the taunt, the The neck breaker, the taunt, and the BFT all back to back to back. That match gets a 74. I love it. Great way to end this kind of mini feud, this sub feud that we had with LA Knight and Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar is going to be getting involved with Legado del Fantasma and another storyline, basically next in this next segment. Jade Cargill comes out to the ring with Steve Austin. She's finally ready to announce her attacker, who hit her with the car. So she invites out to the ring Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Elektra Lopez? What? She tells Naomi that she's sorry that Bianca abandoned the match and made them lose their tag titles to the way of Candice and Indy Hartwell. Jade says she's going to say who hit her with the car, but she has more to say after she reveals it, so she doesn't want anyone to react. No attacking anyone. Just let her say her piece. She stares at Elektra Lopez and says, Elektra Lopez, you were the driver of that car. Naomi's shocked and turns to look at Bianca and then at Elektra. Everyone's confused, asking, why would Elektra Lopez care about Jade Cargill? Why would she want to injure Jade Cargill? And Jade reveals that she told Steve Austin this, so he could go investigate. And he went to Santos Escobar and asked Santos Escobar about it. And Santos Escobar revealed that Elektra Lopez was paid by someone to do it. And as Legado del Fantasma is willing to cause trouble for a price, if the price is big enough, they accepted it. And Santos told Steve Austin that the person who paid them to hit Jade Cargill with the car was Bianca Belair. And as Jade says Bianca Belair's name, Bianca snaps out of her trance that she's in, just listening to Jade talk, and she drops Naomi to the ground, fully turning heel. She runs off, leaving everyone else in the ring. And that gets a 71. Jade Cargill. The turn is a complete success. And Elektra Lopez doesn't do great, but that's fine. She's getting involved in this storyline a little bit. And I figured obviously Bianca was in the match while Jade was hit. So Bianca couldn't be the one hitting Jade, so she obviously paid someone to do it. I wasn't going to do the Naomi turns heel, just like they did in real life. Doing something a little bit different. I want to see a heel Bianca Belair. And obviously the real life crowd was booing Bianca anyways, so I might as well just turn her and not Naomi. Even though Naomi's heel work in real life has been very good. But yeah, Jade finally reveals her attacker as Elektra Lopez, paid off by Bianca Belair. And a vignette of Shinsuke Nakamura plays where, he's speaking in his language. He's warning Braun Strowman. He says he should stay away from the U.S. title picture before he gets himself hurt. And that gets a 71. A nice vignette for Shinsuke Nakamura. Speaking of the U.S. title picture, we go back out to the ring where Andrade and Carmelo Hayes are facing off in the ring, obviously. They've been, interfering with each other. They want to blow off some steam. And both men are trying to steal the show in this match. Andrade gets the upper hand, late in the match. He's setting up for El Idolo. He hits a double running knee in the corner. He's setting it up. Tries to lift Carmelo Hayes up, but Melo grabs the back of the ref's shirt to stop himself from being lifted. The ref's struggling to wriggle free. He can't really see who's grabbed him. He doesn't quite know, so he can't really call for a DQ. And this means Andrade has to break the hold and hey, show the ref, hey, I'm not the one grabbing your shirt, but Melo, let's go. So the ref is still unsure. Andrade's arguing with the ref, saying, "You got to DQ him." The ref's like, it could have been you. You're trying to trick me. Carmelo quickly rolls him up, grabs his tights for 1, 2, 3. I guess he's using the ropes for leverage while he rolls him up, I guess. Carmelo Hayes defeats Andrade. This match gets a 78. Ooh, lovely. I told them to steal the show. They definitely did that. A 70 for Carmelo Hayes, 64 for Andrade. The crowd is buzzing. They loved it. 78. Awesome, man. Oh, great. This should have been the final match, but we do have a title match tonight. Obviously, last week we announced Michin versus Chelsea Green, so that match will be the main event. We go backstage to see Roman Reigns. He's leaving the arena with Paul Heyman at his side, but Kayla Braxton stops him for a quick interview. She asks him, what's next for the tribal chief? He looks at her, he says he needs to figure that out himself. I gotta figure out where my tribe is before I worry about being a tribal chief. And he walks off, leaving Kayla Braxton confused. 78 for that segment. This has been a great show, ratings-wise. I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying it too. But we do have one more backstage segment as Motor City Machine Guns are in Titus O'Neil's office demanding a rematch, saying that DIY cheated to win their title match. DIY come in and say that they don't need to give the Motor City Machine Guns another chance. They just retained. Motor City Machine Guns need to get in the back of the line. And Titus tells them, you did cheat, so I am gonna be giving them a rematch at the Royal Rumble this weekend, and this time it'll be a 2 out of 3 falls match. So a nice little stipulation for the rematch, a 2 out of 3 falls match at the Royal Rumble between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. And this segment gets a 54. Ciampa's getting better at his gimmick. Love to see that. So we head out to the final match, the main event. Michin versus Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship. Chelsea's weaseling her way out of fighting Michin at the beginning of the match. Eventually, Michin gets control of the match. She's setting up for a submission finish. And Chelsea Green taps out. Chelsea Green just tapped out to Michin, yep. But Michin, sees this. There's no bell. She lets go of the hold. She's confused. She thinks she's won. But the ref is distracted. She's talking to Piper Niven, who's on the apron. Piper distracted the ref, and the ref didn't see Chelsea Green tap out. She gets up to the ref. She's like, hey, Chelsea just tapped out. The ref's like, I didn't see it. And Chelsea Green quickly rolls Michin up for 1, 2. Oh, and a kick out at 2.9. Chelsea Green, she's frustrated. She thought that would be enough to get her the win. The fake tap out. How many times do you see that? Chelsea Green tries for the unpretty her, but Michin reverses it for another near fall. And Chelsea hits a big move that, Michin sells like she's hurt her shoulder. The ref's checking on her. While the ref's doing that, Chelsea takes off one of the turnbuckle pads. And, the match continues. Eventually, the ref goes to fix the turnbuckle pad. And Piper throws Chelsea Green her U.S. Women's Championship, her belt. Chelsea tries to pull an Eddie Guerrero. She throws the title near her at the ground. She pretends to be injured. The ref turns around, but, he tells Chelsea, I've seen that one before. He doesn't call for the disqualification. This ref is just like, what's going on? Some great ref work today. The ref throws the title back out of the ring towards Piper. Chelsea Green breaks Michin's eyes while the ref's back is turned and hits the unpretty her clean this time. And she goes for the pin for 1, 2, 3. Chelsea Green retains her WWE Women's United States title. She's laughing, clutching her title. And that match gets a 49. Not a great main event, but that's her first defense of this title, a 49. Michin unable to succeed. And that whole show gets us a 67. I'm sure that ending, I should have just switched around and made these 2 matches the ending, the main events, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will be heading to the Thursday main event show right now. So I'll see you guys for that. Alright, and here we are for main event. This is I decided to do this in Clapham Grand in southern England. So this will be the England show. Obviously we went to Mexico last main event, I believe. And CM Punk opens the show, gets an 89, tells everyone Millwall are the best team in England. Obviously he's a Celtic fan, but we're in England, not Scotland. So CM Punk opening the show. Commentary does not do great. Oh well, it's whatever. We decided to give some English stars their shine today with Pretty Deadly getting a match. A 38 for Kit Wilson, 37 for Elton Prince. Nick Aldis with a 50, Patrick Scott with a 31. Both of these guys have great chemistry. I'm very happy. 45 for that match. That's all right. Holding back, inconsistency. Yeah. All right. The crowd's hot. And we go backstage to Ridge Holland, also an English star of ours, talking about what it means to have a house show at an event, like a house show event like this in England. 32. Nobody really cares about Ridge Holland. I guess he's not that big in England, but his awful gimmick doesn't help. Let's move to the next match. Blair Davenport versus Mio Sky. Blair was off her game. 35 for the match. Oh, it's whatever. 37 for Blair, 27 for Mio. Still trying to build up her pop a little bit. I don't know. Hopefully this match helps a little bit. Blair defeats Mio Sky. 8 minutes. Oh yeah, Pretty Deadly won the last match. I don't know if I said that. I'm sure you can read it here, but you know. Finn Balor cuts a promo telling everyone Spurs are finally going to win a trophy this season. We're in the end of January, so about halfway through the season. 63 for that segment. Finn Balor, known Tottenham Hotspur fan. Yeah, a lot of soccer references here because I'm a big soccer guy. And yeah, maybe I'll do a Football Manager save once they finally release the game. The new one, that's if that ever comes out. 63 for that segment. And to end the show, I did a match with Pete Dunne and Joaquin Wilde, which gets a 45, 48 for Pete Dunne, 35 for Joaquin Wilde. Pete Dunne's office game, another English star here. Pete Dunne wins in 13 minutes with a bitter end. And yeah, so that's the main event. Just decided to do it in England, Southern England this time. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more TEW content. And yeah, comment your thoughts for our main event and also SmackDown. Obviously, I've not booked SmackDown yet as I'm recording this, but hopefully I did a good job. And if I did, let me know. So I'll see you guys in the next episode.